One of South Dakota's biggest political stories will have a new chapter this week.
Former Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg will have the South Dakota Supreme Court's attention on Wednesday. In tonight's Eye on Kellerland, Dan Santella looks at how the aftermath of the deadly crash motivated an unprecedented impeachment, removal from office, and now a date before the state's highest court.
A car driven by then South Dakota Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg struck and killed 55-year-old Joe Boever, who was walking on the shoulder of a highway near Highmore, September 12th of 2020. The next day, the public heard about the crash from Governor Kristi Noem.
South Dakota Highway Patrol will run the investigation, and the Department of Public Safety Secretary Craig Price will oversee that and report directly to me.
1 month later, Ravnsborg's 911 call was made public.
911, this is Allie. How can I help you?
Allie, Allie, I'm the Attorney General, and I don't know, I hit something.
You hit something?
By Highmore, and it was in the middle of the road.
Later in the call, Ravnsborg said he didn't know what he had hit.
It sure hit and bashed my windshield.
Oh, no. Okay, do you think it was a deer or something?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it was right in the roadway.
But a crash report showed Boever was walking not in the road, but on the shoulder. Hyde County Deputy State's Attorney Emily Saville reiterated this in February 2021.
It's also been disclosed to you previously that that impact occurred outside of the lane of travel on the north shoulder of Highway 14.
Ravnsborg faced 3 misdemeanors: illegally veering from his lane of travel, careless driving, and operating a motor vehicle while using a mobile electronic device. But that last one was for using his phone east of Highmore.
As you all well know, the accident in question occurred west of Highmore city limits. All evidence indicates to us that the Attorney General was not on his phone at the time of the accident. The evidence does indicate, however, that Ravnsborg was outside of his lane of travel.
But there would be no manslaughter charge.
Operation of a motor vehicle in violation of a law is not in and of itself sufficient to constitute the recklessness required for that manslaughter statute, even if a person is killed as a result thereof.
None of the charges directly resulted from Ravnsborg's car hitting Boever. Shortly after the charges were announced, we heard for the first time from Ravnsborg in his own words.
And then, quite frankly, wham. Okay, I hit, the incident happened. I never saw anything until the impact. I immediately jump out of the car and call 911 within seconds. I'm thinking it's a deer at this point, but I did not see anything. I didn't have a time to swerve or accelerate or decelerate or anything. I didn't see anything.
Ravnsborg's vision came into sharp focus.
Do you normally wear glasses or anything like when you're driving?
No.
Okay. Any cheaters or anything?
No.
Okay. We found a pair of broken glasses in your vehicle, but they weren't sunglasses. They almost looked like cheaters of some sort. They were like a black framed glass. Part of them was laying on the front passenger floorboard, and part of them were laying in the back seat, broken half.
In a second interview in September 2020, the glasses were again in focus.
They're Joe's glasses.
I wondered about that.
So that means his face came through your windshield. It's a tough thing.
Oh. I was thinking that his face did not come through because there would have been blood. I thought there'd been blood everywhere. Then now, after I've thought about it.
Yeah, and you've had time. Right. His glasses are right there, Jason. Those are Joe's.
I did not see the glasses until you showed me.
Sure. So the only way for them to get there is through the windshield.
Ravnsborg says he didn't see the glasses until the agent showed them to him.
His face was in your windshield, Jason. Think about that.
The Attorney General maintained, though, he didn't see Boever.
I did not know it was a man until the next day. No.
I think you had an idea it was something other than a deer, though.
I just believed it was a deer. I do.
A court trial was scheduled, but Ravnsborg took a plea deal. His attorney appeared on his behalf and entered a no-contest plea to operating a car while using a mobile device and improper lane driving, and the state dropped the careless driving charge. KELOLAND News brought you audio from the Stanley County Courthouse of the sentencing.
I will impose those court costs as well as the $500 fines on each count.
The court costs were slightly more than $3,700. The judge also ordered Ravnsborg to perform public service about distracted driving, but that requirement was dropped. In early April 2022, the public learned about numerous prior traffic stops where Ravnsborg mentioned his role with the state and only received a warning. In September 2020, the same month Ravnsborg's car struck and killed Joe Boever, a Huron police officer was driving through an intersection when a car pulled out in front of him. He had to slam on his brakes. The officer pulled the car over, and as he approached, he noticed the driver had his badge out. During their conversation, Ravnsborg identified himself.
Okay. I'm actually the Attorney General.
Lawmakers also had their say on the Ravnsborg case. In April 2022, the House of Representatives voted to impeach the Attorney General by the slimmest vote possible. There were 36 votes in support and 31 against. It was the first time in South Dakota history that lawmakers impeached a statewide official. There were 2 articles of impeachment, one for crimes causing the death of Joseph Boever, and another for malfeasance in office following the death of Joseph Boever. The matter then went to the Senate for a trial, and state lawmakers removed Ravnsborg from office. 24 senators voted in support of the first article of impeachment, the bare minimum needed for it to succeed, and 31 senators supported sustaining the second article of impeachment.
The standard is honesty. As much as anything, this is about an elected official not telling the truth.
In addition to removing the Attorney General from office, the senators also barred him from holding statewide office again. Ravnsborg was out of the job for which voters hired him in 2018. KELOLAND News has brought you countless reports and perspectives about the still ongoing legal and political ordeal that began with the September 2020 crash. But there's one voice viewers haven't heard, that of the man who didn't survive that crash. Brothers Victor and Nick Nemec watched from above as Ravnsborg's fate was sealed by senators and also shared with us how they remembered their late cousin.
Joe was a soft-spoken man. I would almost call him meek and mild. He didn't want to bother anybody, didn't want to put anybody out of their way. He was a gardener. He rescued houseplants that people didn't want anymore.
He worked at the grocery store for a few years, and customers always liked him. And after he was killed, different people in Highmore would always tell me that, you know, they remember him from the grocery store, and he was always very helpful.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Dan Santella.
Now you can watch Wednesday's Supreme Court hearing live on KELOLAND.com. We'll also bring you full coverage on KELOLAND TV.